start recording. There we go. And I am just going to share my screen and do a brief overview. All right, can everyone see my screen there? It should say Lanfine Wind Community Fund Grant Writing Workshop. Good, I got a thumbs up, fantastic. Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney, and I am the Community Engagement Coordinator at the Community Foundation in Southeastern Alberta. As I mentioned here, we will be recording this webinar for you to reference, and it will be on our YouTube channel and website if you want to watch it again. In the spirit of respect, truth, and reciprocity, we acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional elders and knowledge keepers who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. Thank you. So this is our agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about CFSEA, the pattern energy and how this kind of came about, how it all started, the Lanfine Wind Community Fund. And then, of course, we'll get into the eligibility of our grant, the application process, and just give you some overall tips. I want to just briefly introduce Helen as well. She is on this call. Helen, do you want to unmute yourself and say hello?
Hello, everybody. Most of you may know me from the area, some may not, but I'm Helen Nicholson. Others would know me from as different names, but right now I'm Helen Nicholson, and I am the Regional Development Coordinator for the Community Foundation, and I support what we call the Prairie Crocus region, which is special areas 2, 3, 4, and the MD of Acadia, and will be very involved in this process. For those within Special Areas 3, Town of Boyne, and MD of Acadia applying for these grants. So it's exciting. This is very new for us, and we're very excited to be part of this new innovative project and this fund.
Awesome. Thank you, Helen. Yes, and I oversee all the grants at the Community Foundation, everything from our community grants to our donor advised funds to scholarships. So I also get to be involved in this new grant. So any questions you have, feel free to reach out to myself or Helen. So a little bit about the Community Foundation. We have 3 pillars. We grow, we give, and we inspire. So we grow by accepting donations and putting those donations into permanent endowments. And so that means the principal's never spent, it's invested. And then that investment income is what allows us to give. It allows us to give in the form of grants by distributing those investment earnings to agencies, nonprofits, charities, who can then go invest in their community initiatives. And then our third pillar is we inspire. So we also want to connect issues and partners and just develop community-based solutions. A lot of that comes out in our vital signs. So if you want to read more about our vital signs publications or just learn more about that, our website is full of information on that as well. All right, so Pattern Energy, they are the group that has made this fund possible. They have committed to donating $1 million to the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta over the next 20 years. So we're very grateful for their original donation, which came in this year for $75,000. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute here, but yeah, Pattern Energy is the force behind this grant, and we're very appreciative to them. If you want to learn more about them, their website's there on the screen, patternenergy.com, and yeah, in conjunction with their 150 megawatt Lanfine Wind Power Project in Special Areas 3 and MD of Acadia, they have also chosen to support their community through this donation to the Community Foundation. So the Lanfine Wind Community Fund will, as I mentioned, contribute $1 million to the Community Foundation over the next 20 years of operation. And this will be supporting organizations that benefit people in special areas number 3, Oyen and the MD of Acadia Valley. And in addition to this community fund, they've also developed 2 scholarship funds, which will impact 2 deserving students each year in the Prairie Rose School Division who attend the South Central High School. So also very exciting. So this spring, we have a total amount available of $22,000 to give out from the Lanfine Wind Community Fund grant. And as you can see there on our little map, those are kind of the areas that, that we'll be supporting. So you guys on the call today mentioned you're in Oyen and Acadia Valley, so you're all eligible so far. So as well as our normal community grants, we have to make sure that we are supporting charities and nonprofit agencies. So I'll kind of get into the qualified donee and this declaration of affiliation that you're seeing on the screen here. But firstly, this grant is specific to Special Areas 3, Town of Oyen, and MD of Acadia. I'll kind of keep mentioning that throughout just because that is a very small region of what the Community Foundation serves, but that is the only agencies that can apply for this specific grant. So all right, so for a qualified donee, such as a registered charity or a municipality or a school division, you are more than eligible to apply. If you're not sure whether you're a registered charity or a qualified donee, you can visit the CRA list of charities page. The other caveat is if you're not a qualified donee, you do have a couple of options. First, it would be to register to become a charity. However, this does take a few months. So the other option would be to partner with a qualified donee through an affiliation process. You must find a willing affiliate that makes sense for your specific nonprofit. As in, there's a prior relationship. This needs to exist before you can have that affiliate. All we do then is have you fill out a declaration of affiliation. It's a 2-page document that connects the qualified donee, such as a charity, municipality, or school division, with the non-qualified donee, the maybe nonprofit society or the sports team, the group, and so that qualified donee can receive the funds on your behalf and then flow the funds through to you. So that qualified donee just has to share their most recent financial statements and a list of their board members with contact information. So that's a lot of information. If you're not familiar with this affiliation process, I encourage you to connect with me at the office and we'll be happy to walk you through this process and answer any questions. So CFSEA will provide technology support, such as one-on-one instruction for individuals unaccustomed to a digital platform. Our grant system, our grant application process is all online. And so we just want to make this fair and equitable for everyone and honor oral practices and accommodate those maybe technical or physical barriers. So we will accept recorded oral applications. The deadline is a little sooner just to conduct that, just so I have time to put it in our system. So the deadline to conduct the oral application is July 10th. And again, if you require this, please get in touch with me as soon as possible. And we're happy to provide ongoing support through the whole process. If you need help uploading a document or just understanding a question, I'm happy to support you throughout the whole process. I'm just going to take a quick pause here. Are there any questions? If you're brave and want to come off mute, you can ask a question or you can pop it in the chat and I will answer it. Okay. No questions so far. All right, so what will CFSEA fund through this grant? We will fund projects that are supporting capital operating programs or special one-time costs. So capital costs are things like long-term expenses. Think about like buildings, equipment, vehicles, etc. Operating costs are those day-to-day expenses like salaries, rent, utilities, etc. And then, of course, program supplies or those special one-time costs that you might need. For this grant, we have 5 priority areas that we're focusing on. These were established by Pattern Energy. So their priorities are the follows. First Nations and Métis. So the grants can be distributed to causes that benefit First Nations and Métis, whose traditional territory is within that municipality. And then special attention would be given to programs that have been identified by the First Nations and Métis communities. The next priority area is local communities. So we could distribute grants to geographic communities that are within close proximity to Lanfine Wind Energy Project. And those could be used for events, facilities, programs, and organizations that support building strong and vibrant communities within, again, special areas 3, Oyen, and MD of Acadia. The third priority area is the environment. So environmental grants could be distributed to initiatives that support community action on ecological preservation, restoration, land stewardship, and education. The next one is youth and education. So grants could be awarded to programs and organizations that are working in those 3 municipalities to meet the needs of children and youth development through education, recreation, or safety. And special attention would be given to programs that build individual and community-based leaders. And the 5th priority area is for health and wellness. So grants could be distributed to organizations working on building and supporting individual and community health and safety. And special attention would be given to programs that are working collaboratively on finding ways to support families and acknowledging the social detriments of health. So those are the 5 priority areas, and those are the ways the funds could be spent on capital, operating programs, or special one-time costs. As far as grants go, this is pretty broad and pretty all-encompassing. And so it's really exciting for me because our community grants don't currently support those kind of operating costs. So this is exciting. This is a great way to really help those grassroots organizations be able to thrive and support a really strong community. So this is exciting. We do have a few things that we will not fund. Retroactive funding, so you cannot spend the money before you receive approval that you've been selected as a recipient. And then some of these like debt reduction, can't pay down your debt. This can't go towards a fundraising campaign or to build an endowment. And it can't be directly politically purposed or a direct religious activity either. Okay, so this is kind of like a little checklist to think about. So before you start, ask yourself, are you a registered charity with the CRA, a municipality, or a school division? If you're not, do you have an affiliate? Does your project align with one of those 5 priority areas I mentioned? And you could start to gather your financial statements and your operating budget for the current year because those will be needed for your application as well. We do have a budget that we ask you to fill out. It's our specific budget for this grant application. So it's on our website, but once you get into the application, you can also download it that way. And so you'll need to prepare your budget. And if applying for equipment or infrastructure, those kind of things, be sure to get some quotes from the providers of that equipment so that you can demonstrate the price in your application. So those are some kind of checklist things think about before you get started. This kind of gets into the nitty-gritty details of the budget, just to help you through it a little bit. This is a screenshot of the budget template. As I mentioned before, the total amount we have to give to this whole cycle is $22,000 for all applicants. So we have not specified the amount each applicant can ask for. We're just asking you to demonstrate the need and what amount you're in need of. So as I circled on the screen here, you can title your budget with the project name at the top. And then we're asking that you include all expenses and all sources of revenue associated with the project in that first column. So that one that has an arrow there. This first grayed out column helps us see if this is a part of a bigger grant request that maybe your agency is supporting or you have other funders supporting. This helps us see the kind of big picture on that first column. If it's a smaller project and you have no other sources of revenue and you're just asking for a grant from us, then both columns will look the same, both amount columns. So in this example, the agency is asking for $10,000 from Community Foundation, and they're providing $5,000 from their own agency fundraising for a total of $15,000. You can add description and notes in the column. That helps our committee understand your project better. And everything will add up automatically for you. So it does the math, which is exciting. So this is the first half of what the budget looks like. The second half is the expenses here. So this is, the project expenditure section. Same as before, there's two columns. So this helps us know what you're looking for or what you're going to spend your money on from our specific grant. So that second column breaks it down from what you're looking for from us. The first column, again, if it's this big project, this will have everything the grant will encompass. So in this example, they're asking for $4,000 from Community Foundation for staffing costs, as you can see on the top line, and they're providing an additional $5,000 from their own agency, which you can see the difference between the two amounts. The totals will add up at the bottom for you as well. And if you've done the budget correctly, the net income, that final bottom row, will equal 0. So that's how you know if you've done the budget right. Budgets are always tricky, and every grantor has a different budget. So I understand if you're struggling and need any support, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you through this. Okay. So completing this application, as I mentioned, this is done on our online grant portal. So everything's digital. Typo here. The deadline is July 17th at 4 p.m. It will open on June 17th. The deadline is July 17th. And so you will be able to go onto our online application. Actually, for those of you attending our workshop, I'm going to open it early just so you have a little bit more time to look at it and think about it. So you get your own kind of sneak peek at an early week of doing it. So pat yourself on the back for signing up for the workshop. So I will open that for you guys today. For the rest of the public, it's advertised that it opens on June 17th. With the deadline of July 17th. Again, sorry about that, at 4 p.m. And yeah, because it's online, there are things like the budget, the financials that you have to attach and upload to it. So if you're having any issues, let me know. I can help you. And I do encourage applicants to connect with me and talk about your project ideas. And I can kind of help you sort those ideas out as you're looking into what you could apply for or what might be the best for this grant. I've said it probably half a dozen times already, but feel free to connect with me, connect with Helen. We do want to help you. We want to walk you through the process, especially if this is your first grant application with us. We're happy to help. And once we've received your application, staff may reach out to you with additional questions from the committee. And just so you're aware, there might be an email or a phone call with some follow-up questions once we receive your application. Oh. This is just a screenshot from our login page. When you go to our website, you can click on We Give and then go to Lanfine Wind Grant. From there, you can hit Apply Now, and then it'll take you right here. Brianne, are you actually able to put that in the chat? That link for just how to apply. We'll save you a step and put it in the chat for you. If you already have a profile on our grant platform, maybe you've applied for a community grant with us before, please do not create a new one. It's going to be the same email address that you've used before. If you forget your password, that's okay. It's really easy to reset. You just click on that blue forgot your password, and it'll email you with a link to reset your password. And it's very simple to do that. If you're a new user, you can create a new account. If you're not a registered charity, just leave that spot for the CRA number blank. Yeah, if you need me to look if your agency already has an account, I can go ahead and do that for you too, if you're wondering. And perfect. Rianne just put the link to the Lanfine Wind community grant in the chat box. So that just takes you to our website and has lots of valuable information for you there. Okay, so this is just kind of the application process as a whole. Today, obviously, is the grant writing workshop. For the general public, it's going to open on June 17th. But again, for all of you who attended, you're going to get that extra week to work on it. I'll go open it for you right after the workshop. Our deadline is July 17th at 4 p.m. That is a hard deadline. We don't stray from it. So get it in before then. And then our plan is for late August to actually distribute those funds. So in between July 17th and mid-August, we will have a local advisory committee being reviewing those applications and making recommendations to our board of directors. Our applications are reviewed by a committee, which consists of a representative from each of those three areas, plus a Lanfine Wind project manager and the cfsea regional coordinator. So those committee members considers all eligible applications, and then they make those recommendations to our board of directors. Once approved, our applicants will be notified whether or not they receive funding. We give everyone a call, and if we can't get a hold of you for whatever reason, you will still receive an email letting you know with that final decision. And those grant decisions are finalized within approximately 6 weeks of the application deadline. Probably a little bit sooner. I would say 4 to 6 weeks. So that is the process overall. Yeah, and then I just have some kind of general tips as you're going through our grant application. Refer to our grant guidelines document. So with that link that Rianne shared in the chat, you'll see a big button and it says grant guidelines. You know, print it off, highlight it up, have it next to you as you're filling out the grant application, and keep referring back to it. That is what we have to go off of, and it's what determines if you're eligible or not. We like our grant applicants to simplify, use bullet form. It doesn't have to be eloquent in this big paragraph. You can really use bullet form and hit home those important points for us to read. use numbers and showcase impact. If you have any stats that you can reference, maybe it's even referencing our vital signs report of the needs in the area. Anytime you can show the impact and use numbers, it really drives home the point you're trying to make. I recommend highlighting partnerships, any ways that you can show that you're working together with another organization or another group, and just, yeah, any type of partnerships. And again, with that impact, highlighting how much, how long, how many, anytime those numbers can come into play, or yeah, you can show that impact. And again, probably now about the 10th time, connect with the office. If you're not sure the meaning of a question, if you need any more support, if something's not working the right way, just ask. We're here to support you. So that is about all I have for you guys. Just want to take a minute to answer any questions you might have. You can again put them in the chat or come off mute. It's a small group. Wow. No questions. Anything?